Hey guys, I am so excited to share this project with you. I am calling it the Rustic Autumn Crochet Cardigan. I am loving this pattern so much. It honestly might be my new favorite project in my closet at the moment. The origin story for the yarn that I used to make this cardigan is actually very beautiful. At the event that I went to at H&H in Chicago, I met an indie dyer whose colorway was Tabby Cat. This colorway was inspired by two rescue kitties that they adopted, two tabby kitties that just brought so much love into their lives that they really wanted to honor their kitties by making a cool colorway. And when I saw this yarn, I had that moment where I was like, I have to create something with you. Have you ever had that moment before? I was like, I need to make something with you. And something moody, something autumn, and I think I nailed it. For the materials, now for this project, I am using Barn Yarn's Tabby Cat. If you would like to get your hands on it, I'll have a link and my affiliate link in the description section below so you can get your hands on the exact yarn that I use for this project. All information about the yarn and all the materials, I'm going to leave down in the description so you can just go look at that, grab what you need. I will include links in case you're having trouble grabbing anything to make things super easy peasy on you. The full written pattern is also available for you. The link will be right down in the description section along with the materials. And while you're down there, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't too, and share this with a friend just to support these indie dyers and videos like this. All right, when you're ready, let's begin. All right, to begin, I do recommend that you go check the pattern to see what size you want to make and how many chains you're going to need to make that size. I'm making a size large, so I'm going to begin by chaining 75 chains. For row 1, we're going to half double crochet in the second chain from our crochet hook. So half double crochet. Love it. Love the half double crochet stitch. And we are going to make one half double crochet stitch in every chain all the way across the row. You should end row 1 with a total of 74 half double crochet stitches if you're making a large, or one less stitch than you chained in your foundation row. Last stitch here. Great, we just finished row 1. For row 2, we're just chaining 1, turning our work, and making one half double crochet stitch in every stitch all the way across. Super easy peasy. Now for this first section, row 1 through row 9, all you're doing is chaining 1, turning your work, and making one half double crochet stitch in every stitch across. Wrapping up row 9, you're going to see this big block of half double crochet stitches. Perfect. Moving on to row 10. Chain 1, turn our work. Now row 10, we're going to be working the helicopter stitch. We're going to be working in the front loop only, from the front of the work inward towards that V stitch. Very important. So just picking up that front loop only, then yarn over, pull through. Got 2 loops on our hook. Twist the 2 loops like a helicopter. Then yarn over and pull through both loops on your crochet hook. That's a helicopter stitch. Let's do that again. Insert your crochet hook under the front loop only. That's going to be very important moving on to row 11. So front loop only, yarn over, pull through, got the 2 loops on our hook, twist those like a helicopter, then yarn over and pull through both loops. It's also extremely important that you have a loose crochet stitch tension here. Notice as I am inserting my crochet hook, yarning over and pulling that loop through, how loose that is. If it's tight, then you're going to have a hard time twisting it like a helicopter. So definitely make sure that loop is loose so you can make that full rotation, that full twist. All right, repeat this all the way across for row 10. Finishing up row 10, the last helicopter stitch right here. Great, let's go ahead and set that down so you can see this beautiful row of helicopter stitches. Isn't it pretty? All right, moving on to row 11, we're going to chain 1, turn our work. What I want you to pay attention to right here is that long line of back loop only stitches that we did not touch in row 10. We're going to be working row 11 into those back loop only. To help us out, you might want to just fold those helicopter stitches forward and pinch those left behind back loops so that way it's so much easier to see. We're going to work half double crochet stitches into these left behind loops. So one half double crochet stitch, boom, right there. Next stitch, half double crochet into that left behind loop. Great. Now it's very, very important that you count the number of stitches you have in row 11 and really any row following the helicopter stitch row. This row always tripped me up. If I didn't count, I always dropped stitches. It never failed. So big tip for you, count your stitches. It's usually that very first stitch that's the spot that'll trip you up. All right, finishing up row 11. Last stitch here, great. Setting this down, what I want you to notice is we're looking at the wrong side of the project. It should be completely flat. No texture on this side of the work. For row 12, chain 1, turn your work. And now we should be able to see the right side of the project, the front, with that beautiful texture. Oh my gosh, it's so pronounced and it's so cool looking. I love it, yet it's subtle. It's not too much. For row 12, we're going to make 1 half double crochet stitch in every stitch across. Now that's what's gonna start off the pattern. We're gonna have 9 rows of making 1 half double crochet stitch in every stitch, chain 1, turn your work. It's every 10th row we're gonna work the helicopter stitch. Very important to know this. For the back panel, it's gonna be a solid square, solid rectangle shape right here. I am working a size large, so I'm going to go to row 70. Definitely refer to the pattern, find the size you're wanting to make, and crochet as many rows as is indicated in the pattern. All right, once you finish the back panel, we're gonna keep it going and work the first front side section. How we're gonna achieve this, we're gonna chain 1, we're gonna turn our work, continuing on with the exact same pattern that we've been doing. So now here we would be working row 71 by making 1 half double crochet stitch in that left behind loop for the first 30 stitches. Again, we're only making 1 front panel side, so we want to be working a total of 30 stitches into the work. Once you reach stitch number 30, you're gonna stop. That is going to be the width of the first panel. Great. To move on to row 72, just chain 1, turn your work, and make 1 half double crochet stitch in every stitch across. Remember, every 9 rows, we're making 1 half double crochet stitch in every stitch across, then chain 1, turn our work, and continue on. It's every 10th row we're going to work that helicopter stitch. So for row 80, you'll do that helicopter twist stitch that we did for every 10th row. Continue this first panel all the way through row 139. We're going to stop at 39 because we don't want our last row to be a helicopter row. Once you reach row 139, go ahead and grab your scissors and tie off your work. The first panel is done, and this is what you'll be seeing right here. So we got the texture for every 10th row. Great. Now we're going to begin panel number 2, or side number 2. Now, if we want panel number 2 to match panel number 1, we need to be looking at the wrong side of the work. Find stitch number 30 of panel number 1. Great. Now we want to skip the next 14 back loop only here for the middle. If panel number 1 had 30 stitches, then panel number 2 is going to need 30 stitches, which leaves us with 14 stitches in between. Go ahead and find stitch number 15, the very next stitch over, and mark that with a stitch marker while we create our slip knot and attach our crochet hook. Slip stitch into the stitch that we marked with our stitch marker just to attach the yarn to the project. Then chain 1 to set us up for the row, and make 1 half double crochet stitch in that same stitch that we just slip stitched into. That's going to be stitch number 1 of 30. Now make 1 half double crochet stitch in every stitch ending this row all the way to the end. Fabulous. All right, and then we're going to repeat everything that we did in panel number 1 for panel number 2 identically. Go ahead and make it to row 139 so it matches panel number 1, and then tie off your work. Ideally, we want those textured helicopter rows to line up. If they don't, definitely go back and fix that. All right, moving on. Do not cut your yarn. Turn your project so you are looking at the back or wrong side of the project where there's no texture. The texture should be facing down. Great. We're going to keep working the side and extend the width of our cardigan. Start by chaining 1 and then make one half double crochet stitch in the side of every row all the way down the cardigan. So we have a total of 139 rows, or at least for my size large. If you are making a different size, work the same number of stitches as you have rows in your cardigan. And for me, I have 139 rows, so I will have 139 half double crochet stitches at the end of this one row. Finishing row 1 of extending the width of our cardigan. For row 2, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. Great. Okay, half double crochet into the first stitch. Then we're going to chain 1, skip the next stitch, and half double crochet in the following stitch. Great, right? Then chain 1, skip the next stitch, and half double crochet in the following stitch. And that is the repeat pattern for row 2, extending the width of our cardigan. Is just chain 1, skip 1, half double crochet all the way across for row 2. Go ahead and continue on, and I will see you at the end of row 2 to show you how we close row 2 and what the remaining pattern is going to be. All right, here we are closing row 2. There's one stitch left. Go ahead and make one half double crochet stitch in that very last stitch. So you're ending row 2 repeat with 2 half double crochet stitches right next to each other. This is what you're looking at. Great. Now for row 3, through the end of row 11 of this extended side section, you're just repeating row 1 and row 2. So row 3, or every odd number row, you're going to be making one half double crochet stitch in every stitch and one half double crochet stitch around every chain 1. Okay, so you should be ending every odd number row with a total of 139 stitches. And then every even number row, you're doing that half double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, half double crochet row. All right, you got it. Continue on, and I'll meet you at the end of row 11 to show you what to do next. Row 11 is an odd number row, which means row 11 is going to be one of those solid half double crochet rows where we are making one half double crochet in every stitch and around every chain. It's going to be very airy and flowy. Go ahead and grab your scissors, tie off your work, and repeat everything that we just did on the other side so there's symmetry to our cardigan. It has matching sides. Just slip stitch into the side of the very first row to attach the yarn to the project. Then chain 1 and make one half double crochet stitch in the side of every row. Now a little trick, you see those defined lines there? There are 2 rows between each defined line. That might help you out. Otherwise, just remember how many rows you made. That's how many stitches you should have for this row 1. This is going to take a second. Go ahead and complete this second side, and I'll meet back up with you to show you what to do next. Just to make sure you're on the same page, this is what it looks like when it's done. We've got this beautiful mesh section right here. Got our nice texture. Perfect. Now we're going to move on to the sleeves. So we're making 2 sleeves, obviously, and it's going to be in line with that same exact pattern that we made for the cardigan itself. So go ahead and begin. To find out how many chains that you're going to need to chain to make your sleeve, refer to the pattern. I'm making a size large, so I'm going to make 55 chains. For row 1, I'm going to half double crochet into the second chain from the crochet hook and make one half double crochet stitch in every stitch all the way across for a total of 54 stitches per row. Now we are repeating everything that we did for the main body of the cardigan. So what you're going to notice is the first 9 rows are going to be half double crochet stitches, and that 10th row is going to be a helicopter stitch. Same thing. If you're going to need a little reminder, I'm going to provide one for you, but if you need a longer reminder, refer back to the main body section of the cardigan. They're done the exact same way. Again, refer to the pattern to find out how many rows that you're going to need to make for your sleeve, depending on the size of the cardigan that you are making. Once you complete both panels, one for each sleeve, we're going to move on to the cuffs. Start by chaining 12. For row 1, we're going to single crochet into the second chain from our crochet hook and make 1 single crochet in each chain all the way across. You're going to end with a total of 11 stitches per row. For row 2, we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and make a single crochet stitch in the back loop only. So find that V-stitch, insert our crochet hook inside the V-stitch and through the back loop only, and complete the single crochet. Great. Repeat this all the way across, making 1 single crochet stitch in the back loop only in each stitch. You're going to repeat this for row 2 through row 54. Once you reach the end of row 54, this is what you're going to be looking at. It's got this nice zigzag for an elastic hem. Tie off your work. Right, cuff number 1 is done. Make 2. Next, we're going to work on the bottom hem of the cardigan. Start by chaining 12. We're actually going to be doing exactly what we did for the wrist cuff. For row 1, we're going to single crochet in the second chain from our crochet hook and make 1 single crochet stitch in each chain across. You're going to end with a total of 11 stitches per row. For row 2, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work and single crochet in the back loop only of each stitch all the way across. Every row is going to have 11 stitches, and for the bottom hem, we're going to make a total of 180 rows. Buckle up, it's going to take a second, but it's going to be so worth it. Once you reach the end of row 180, this is what you're looking at. It's going to be long. Check this out. Go ahead and tie off your work, and the hem is done. Last thing we're going to work on is the border that's going to go around the front of our cardigan. Start by chaining 7. For row 1, we're going to single crochet into the second chain from our crochet hook and make 1 single crochet in each chain all the way across. Each row is going to have a total of 6 stitches. It's going to be a very thin, long piece of work. For row 2, we're repeating everything we did for the wrist cuffs and the bottom hem. We're going to go ahead and chain 1, turn our work, single crochet in the back loop only of each stitch all the way across. Again, each row for this border is going to have a total of 6 stitches in it. We're going to work the border for row 3 through the end of row 176. Whew, this is a long one, but it works up pretty quickly with only 6 stitches per row. Once you finish row 176, go ahead and tie off your work. Done. Now that all of our pieces have been created, let's go ahead and put them together before we weave in our ends. That way we can check to see if we need to make any adjustments. Make some part longer, shorter, thinner, fatter. This is the time where we can actually tweak any of the pieces. It's also fun to see it come together. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to weave in our ends so we can get those ends out of our way as we are joining the pieces together. The next thing we're going to want to do is put our stitch markers in place so that way we can align pieces together in symmetry. So I'm placing my first stitch marker on the body of my project right in the center of the shoulder. For the sleeve, there's an even number of stitches, so I'm marking the centermost 2 stitches. I'm going to align the first stitch marker with the center of my shoulder, and then I'm going to place the other 2 stitch markers on either side to make sure there's no shifting that's going to happen when I'm joining the 2 pieces together. I'm going to have my yarn go one direction and then back. That's going to allow me approximately a safe amount of yarn to use to join the 2 pieces together. If I run out, I can add more, but at least it's not going to be an obnoxious amount. Take your yarn needle, thread your yarn needle. The joining method that I'm using is the mattress stitch join. So I'm going to go ahead and insert my yarn needle into the first stitch of the sleeve and out the stitch marker on the main body of the work. Now, if you're curious where to place the stitch marker for the main body of the work, just count how many stitches are in the sleeve itself. The stitch join should be a 1-to-1 stitch ratio. So just find that center shoulder stitch marker on the main body of the project, count how many stitches down, and mark that spot. Now for the mattress stitch join, we're going to go from the back to the front of the loop on the sleeve, and then we're going to go from the back to the front of the front loop only of this V stitch that we're going to see here. Then back to the sleeve, going from the back to the front of the one open stitch, the one open loop, then back to the main body of the work from the back to the front of that front loop only. And repeat. Once you reach the end, go ahead and tie off your work. I'm going to go ahead and reinsert my yarn needle, hold a loop back with my fingers and twist it to form an X shape. Take my yarn needle and go underneath the loop from the bottom to the top and gently pull so I can guide that knot and have it set exactly where I want it to set. Great, then grab your scissors, cut your yarn, leaving a long enough tail to weave in your ends, and let's go do the other side, sleeve number 2. After the sleeves are attached, we're going to add the cuffs. Grab 2 stitch markers, join the cuff to the bottom of the sleeve so it doesn't shift. Cut your yarn, thread your yarn needle. We're going to insert our yarn needle from the very first stitch of the very first row of the cuff from the back to the front. Then come to the sleeve, and in the very first stitch, we're going to insert our yarn needle from the front to the back. Then tie your yarn to secure so it doesn't just come undone while you're joining. Insert your yarn needle from the back to the front of the side of the very first row of the cuff. Then come to the sleeve, find that very first stitch, insert your yarn needle into the front loop only of the very first stitch from the back to the front. And then back to the cuff, find row number 2, insert your yarn needle from the back to the front of row number 2, then come to the bottom of the sleeve and insert your yarn needle into the front loop only of the next open stitch from the back to the front. Repeat this all the way across. Every row should have an adjoining stitch, so it should be a 1-to-1 stitch ratio. Continue this join all the way across to completely join the cuff to the bottom of the sleeve. Once you reach the other side of the sleeve, go ahead and tie off your work. Grab your scissors, cut a long enough tail for you to weave in your end, and then let's go to the other side and join cuff number 2 to sleeve number 2. The next join that we're going to do is we're actually going to fold the cardigan in half together, so that way the sleeves will fold in line and the front of the cardigan will be laying on top of the back of the cardigan. Take your stitch markers, starting at the cuff, we're going to go ahead and place a stitch marker every 10 rows where you see the texture popping. Continue placing stitch markers all the way along the side hem of the cardigan. We're again using the mattress stitch join, starting at the bottom waist of the cardigan and working our way up to the armpit and then out to the cuff of the sleeve. The next piece we're going to attach to the cardigan is the bottom hem. So taking the bottom hem and folding it, making sure it's not twisted, grab lots of stitch markers. Place our first stitch marker at the side of the hem, the edge of the hem, aligning that with the first corner. Then taking the other side of the hem, aligning it with the other corner of the cardigan. The first section that we're going to count is that first textured section of the panel. There were 30 stitches there. So count 30 stitches in the hem and mark that with a stitch marker. Then repeat this on the other side. Count 30 stitches and then attach that part of the hem to the cardigan with a stitch marker. Now the next section, that airy net section, was 11 rows. So count 11 rows of the hem and then join there right at the side edge where we joined the cardigan together. Repeat on the other side. Count 11 rows, take your stitch marker and join in that section where we joined the cardigan together. They're at the very edge. Let's go ahead and flip to the back. So again, this section has 11 rows, so counting 11 stitches. And doing the same thing to the other side. The back section had 74 stitches. Just find the center of 74 and mark that. The point of all these stitch markers is to help us to stay on track as we are joining the piece together, to make sure that it's not shifting on us. And repeat that mattress stitch join the same way that we've been doing it for the other pieces. Great, once you've made it all the way around, grab the last piece, the border piece that's gonna fit around the front of the cardigan, and just clean everything up. Take our stitch marker, mark the edge of that first border with the bottom corner of the cardigan. Run your finger across the whole border, taking out any twists that might be in there. And then with another stitch marker, join the bottom or last row with that bottom corner edge right there. Now we're going to count. We know that that bottom hem had 11 stitches in it. So we're going to count to 11 and then place a stitch marker and mark that. Repeat on the other side. Great. Now we're going to look at those sections with the high texture, you know, where there's 9 rows of half double crochet and then the texture row. We're going to count to 10 and then we're going to place a stitch marker into the side of the textured row. Repeat all the way around. So it's a really good judge right there, having these key indicators to help us out. When you get to the end and all your stitch markers are set and you're finding that this is not laying as evenly as it should, feel free to tweak some things, move some stitches around until it's laying as evenly as possible. Once all the stitch markers are in place, use the mattress stitch join to attach the border to the cardigan, and that's it. Your cardigan is complete. And that's it, guys. The Rustic Autumn Crochet Cardigan. I hope you love it as much as I do. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please check out my Crochet Club membership over on my website. Did you know I have a Crochet Club membership? Well, I do. Go to my website, crochetwithtiffany.com. Check out the free trial so you can test it before you actually commit. I understand sometimes you need to feel it out first. Definitely give it a peek. I'd love to see you in there. We have exclusive patterns, crochet along projects. We're about to begin one actually, and so many activities and fun things to do. So I hope I see you over there. Until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day, guys. Bye.